Yo, what it is, everybody? Thanks for tuning back into another episode here on the Speedbug channel. Well, a video that I know a lot of you are going to ask for, and already have kind of really asked for, and I want to touch base on this. And it's really particular into the GXSR and my old 2015 to 2018. If you're not in the States, if you are in the States, it would be 2019 is the GXSR, the 1000R, a better bike than the outgoing S1000RR as more of a street bike. And I've really made some good points and some valid points, and this bike does a lot of things that are a lot better than the other one, meaning the BMW, and the BMW does a few things that are much better than so. Without really dragging out this video, I just hop right into it, and I'll just really kind of tell you and just kind of go along with it and kind of give you my opinion. The GXSR is 100% way better value for the money. Now, in 2015, when I bought my bike brand new, when it was the new edition and had all the options and everything like that, it was damn near almost double the price. Now, since they're used, bike's been out, the prices have come down. They're still they're a lot more comparable, but the BMW is still significantly more expensive than the GXSR. So the GXSR is going to win in the financial department. As far as the fun factor on the street, the GXSR wins hands down, simply because you could say it's more flickable and it has a lot more torque, which we already know that it does. By it having a lot more torque allows you to tend to have more fun with like wheelies and stoppies and stuff like that. And I do tend to feel that it is a more balanced bike for the street, because your balanced bike for the street versus your balanced bike for the track is two completely different types of balance. Now, in that aspect, I still think the GXSR wins on the street. As far as comfort, the GXSR does win again on the street. The seats are better, the handle grips are better than the BMW and things like that. So I definitely want to touch on that. So that's 3 good wins right then and there for the GXSR. Now let's jump over to 3 good wins on the BMW. We're talking about the outgoing model, not the 2021 that I just sold. Where the BMW excels is because it's kind of the whole and complete package, where this bike does excel and really kicks ass on the racetrack, but I do believe that the BMW will probably still go around the track just a little bit faster. Not that it's really a bad thing, not that it's worse, but I do believe that it's still focused more on a track weapon. This is still more of a street bike. Another thing that it wins in is a lot of the electronic aids and the features, especially if you're going to go back before this bike was even created, because before this generation, the GXSR pretty much had no electronic aids. But the BMW, it just has all of the aids. It has the adaptable suspension. It has the nice cruise control. It has the heated grips. You can even get it with the heated seats and stuff like that. So it's all of the rain modes and in the traction control and the stability control. I mean, it's just awesome. It is. Yeah, this bike has a lot of those features, but the BMW's integration and everything with that and the ride control is far more superior to than the GXSR. It's just, I'm sorry, as much as I love the GXSR and my GXSR fanboys, but the BMW does it better. This bike is still kind of like old school, kind of still, just raw. And don't get me wrong, I love all of the electronic aids. I would love to have them on here. So if Suzuki, if you're listening, hurry the hell up and catch up. Another great thing that the BMW has is that it brings to the table is its uniqueness. And yes, you always see a lot from the big four that's going to come around between all of the, the Japanese bikes and hell, even some of the Ducatis. But the BMW, it's a little bit more rare. And so when you do see one, you're like, oh, hey, that bike looks a little bit different. It did have the asymmetrical front. I personally did like it. I didn't mind it one bit. I thought it was pretty cool, and it gave the bike a very, very, very unique look. Not that, you know, any of the big four don't have their own unique look, but they're just more common, and you see them all the time. You'll see 4 or 5 Suzukis or 4 or 5 Hondas as opposed to, you know, let's just say maybe one BMW or something like that, or hell, maybe even, you know, 10 of them or so like that. So they all win in their own categories. Now, do I think that this bike is a better street bike, or is it a better buy? Well, two different questions. Better street bike to dick around and have fun on and stuff like that. You got the GXSR, I think, hands down 100%. Now, a better bike to probably do some track days and stuff like that. Well, hopefully you don't fall as much, because if you fall, this bike is going to be a hell of a lot cheaper for you to repair. If you do fall a lot, well, then, I don't know, maybe you shouldn't be on a bike. But anyway, no, you're going to fall no matter what. Everybody falls, including me. I've fallen many, many, many times, more than I could put on two hands. So the people that think that I don't fall, I have fallen, and hell, it's part of riding. So, but the BMW, if you're starting out probably as a novice and going to the track, that bike will do you a lot more justice than the GXSR, because you can dial it down and the aids will help you become a much better rider, as opposed to this thing. You kind of go all out and you can only pretty much just limit the power, you know, from, I don't know, 200 horsepower to 120 or 140 or whatever it is. The BMW just does a lot better job, and if it detects like wheel slippage in the front and in the back, it'll stand you up and correct you and stuff like that. So it is kind of a little bit better in that aspect. And as far as the exclusivity standpoint, well, of course, then you have the BMW and you want to have the bougie name brand as well. But better bike overall, well, I'm going to leave that up to you guys, because that's really a hard decision, and I still really battle that. Is it a better bike? Well, then if it's a yes or no question, the answer is yes. But it should be, because it's damn near almost double the price. Now, is it worth double the price? That's the factor, and that's the determination you as the buyer that pretty much has to make that decision. After owning both of them and having both of them, and I've said this many times, the BMW, the outgoing generation, was probably the best bike I've ever ridden. I would still agree to that 100%. It's like an all-around, whole, complete bike. It really is probably the best crotch rocket as a whole I've ever ridden. Meaning it didn't go too far on the race side, it didn't leave too much street stuff away, and vice versa. However, it falls short in other categories. You know, super high revving, lacks a lot of the torque. You know, brings in the horsepower, but doesn't bring in the torque. Brakes aren't the greatest, but it has a great swing arm. There's 1,000 things that I can go back and forth, and for the people that have ridden them both, they know exactly what the hell I'm talking about. But after owning them and living with them for a few years and stuff like that, do I still think it is the best bike still I've ever ridden? Yes. Do I believe it warrants almost double the cost based on what I paid for my BMW and what I paid for the GXSR? That I do not. I don't think that it's literally twice the bike. It has a lot of improvements that are better, but I do believe that two main features that a lot of BMW owners get hooked on is that cruise control and those heated grips, which both of them could be retrofitted for aftermarket, but we all know it's not the same as OEM. That's still not $10,000 or $15,000 upscaled to what it is to get that bike when that bike was brand new. So you be the decision. Is it a better bike? Yes. Is it worth the extra money? Depends on the type of bike that you want. For me, as you see, I had all the Ducatis, all the Yamahas, and everything, you know, BMWs. I mean, I've had them all. Suzuki just won it for me, and it's the best bang for the buck. And I'm more of a bang for the buck type of guy, and I need the whole package, and I don't need it to break the bank. And I know if there's one bike that's gonna do one thing better, hell, like even the Ducati that I still have on the wall that I still talk so much shit about, but that bike went around the corner a little bit better than my Suzuki. But there's just certain things I'm willing to sacrifice and certain things I'm not willing to sacrifice to get everything it is that I want out of my motorcycle. So let me know what you guys think in the comments below. But that's what your question is. That was a big one. I know that was coming up. Is the GXSR better than the outgoing BMW S1000RR? I think it's a street bike. It is. Suzuki really did their homework. People just really sleep on it, but and you just, I'm sorry, you just can't beat it for the value. I mean, it's like you can wreck one or buy one used and turn one into a race bike, have one street bike, one race bike, and pretty much still come out the same as one BMW bike. So it's kind of a hard card and a hard play to beat. So let me know what you guys think in the comments below. But that's going to wrap it up here for today's video. I hope you guys like what you saw. Facebook, Instagram, at Speedbug, same name. Here's YouTube. And now, I'll keep 100. Peace.